Hello guys, hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to episode 2 of A Photographer's Journey. In episode 1 we took a look at Snowdonia's National Park and in particular the Edale Valley, a fantastic area. In this episode I'm going to be taking a look at the Dark Peak area of the Peak District and in particular the Kinder Scout area. So a vast area, it actually covers quite a lot of the Peak District, the actual area of Kinder Scout. There's some amazing walks and hikes throughout the area. We'll be taking a look at some of those in a minute. But we're also going to be making a colour inkjet print during this episode from the Kinder Scout area. A nice little waterfall feature that I managed to find in some pretty horrible conditions. So we're going to be printing that image out today as well. But before that, let's go and take a look at some of the amazing walks that I've had the pleasure of enjoying over the last couple of years. And then we'll come back here and take a look at the image we're going to be printing. Kinder Scout is a large moorland plateau and national nature reserve in the Dark Peak area of the Derbyshire Peak District. And at 636 metres above sea level, Kinder Scout is the highest of the 3 qualifying mountains in the Peak District, the other 2 being Bleaklow and Grinslow Knoll. On a clear day, the distant views of Snowdonia are often visible. Kinder Scout has good access and the majority of the walks get the blood pumping but are fairly easy and safe. It also has access from many different areas of the Peak District due to its very large and flat plateau. A great area to explore Kinder is from Hayfield. From here there are several walks which take in the fabulous views of the area. The first is the Kinder Reservoir walk, which begins and ends at the Bowden Bridge car park in Hayfield and marks the start of the Kinder Trespass, which happened in 1932. Thanks to this moment in history, the hills of the Peak District are now available for everyone to enjoy. From Bowden Bridge car park, turn left and follow the road up towards the reservoir. Eventually you'll come to the start of the walking trail. Just follow the path upwards towards the reservoir. The dam will be on your right. Making your way up the dam wall, you'll soon start to see the views of Kinder Scout and the Kinder Reservoir. The route is now clear. Simply follow the path by the water's edge and continue right down the reservoir, keeping the water to your right. After 1.5 miles, you'll reach Kinder Reservoir's most northerly tip, and this is the start of William Clough. And you'll see a beautiful footbridge just in front of you that takes you across the stream. When you've reached the other side, simply follow the path to the right, which heads through some lovely silver birches. Continue now for another mile and you will eventually end up at the River Kinder, which is the main source of the reservoir. Again here you will find a lovely footbridge that makes the crossing easy. After crossing the footbridge over the River Kinder, it's time to leave the water's edge and head over the hillsides to Upper House. Upper House is a charming mansion that sits nestled in the hillside within some beautiful wooded areas. From here though, the route is clear as you return back to the car park. It's a beautiful 4-mile walk and is suitable for the whole family and really takes in the scenery. The second route I recommend from here is from the same starting point, again taking the same route until you reach William Clough. From here you start the ascent of Kinder Scout. Simply follow the steep path to the summit. Once you've reached the summit, turn right and this will lead you to Kinder Downfall, an area that has wonderful photographic opportunities. In strong southwesterly winds, the waterfall actually blows backwards. It blows the water up the hillside, creating a backwards waterfall. I'm yet to photograph this, but it's a wonderful spectacle. After leaving the waterfall, the path to the right will take you on your descent, which will eventually lead you back to the car park. It's a good 6 or 7 miles, so if you're planning on taking some photos too, allow yourself plenty of time. Probably my favourite area to access Kinder Scout is via the Edale Valley. Edale has great access via the train station and has ample parking too. There's also a good couple of campsites called Field Head and Newfold Farm. There's a pub and also a good cafe, so it's an ideal location if you wish to camp overnight without lugging your gear to the summit. This next walk is probably my favourite walk in the Peak District. It starts and ends at the car park in Edale and offers a wonderful circuit which takes in some breathtaking views and wonderful photographic opportunities. It's marked down as being one of the most challenging walks in the Peak District as it follows a rocky riverbed, but at times can be difficult after heavy rain and icy conditions. The total walk is around 8 miles and climbs around 500 metres in elevation. From the main car park in Edale, turn right heading north. After about half a mile from the car park, turn right following the signpost to Grinsbrook. After a mile or so, Grinsbrook Clough will come into view and marks the way ahead. Follow the clough to the summit whilst enjoying spectacular views of the Edale Valley. From the summit of the Kinder Plateau, we head west, passing by Crowden's Tower and the wonderfully photogenic rock formations of the Woolpacks. I could spend days up there looking for compositions amongst these formations. It really is an interesting geological area to explore. After the Woolpacks, the descent via Jacob's Ladder is a tough one on the calves, but a fun experience and also offers great views down the valley. The cafe and the pub at Edale is a rewarding prospect as you make your way back to the Edale Valley across the rolling hillsides via Upper Booth Farm. What an amazing area of the Peak District Kinder Scout is. It really is a fantastic place, got so much to offer. So I'm going to take a look at this image that I'm going to be printing. Now this image I actually found during the first walk I talked about during that last piece, and it is in the northern tip of the Kinder Reservoir, which is the start of William Clough, which marks the ascent up to the top of Kinder Scout from that particular walk. And there's a bit of a tumbling, babbling brook that comes down there. And I found this really unique little spot that offered a really intimate, close, detailed shot of the area. And as you can see by taking a look at this image, it is really, the conditions were manky, proper horrible, really, really heavy sleet and snow, really claggy conditions as well, a lot of fog. But actually, I quite like these types of conditions, and I think we can certainly get some very unique photographs when we're out in these conditions. So as you can see, you know, if we look at the details in the tree, they've got all these lovely water droplets, and you can see the snowflakes coming down, and I wanted to be able to capture that. Let's take a little bit more of an in-depth look at the composition, and then we'll come back and take a look at how I tweak this and get it ready for print. The first thing that sparked my interest in this image was how much drama there was in the scene, with the fast-flowing, bubbling water and the heavy snowstorm. I knew straight away that I wanted to capture that drama in the image. Compositionally, it was quite challenging because to get all of the elements to fit, I had to zoom in to about 38mm. In full frame terms, this is about 55mm. So with such a tight framing and my foreground fairly close to the camera, it meant I had to stop down my aperture to f10 to gain my depth of field to sufficiently bring my foreground and the tree into sharp focus. The downside to stopping down this far was that my shutter speed became too slow to capture just a little bit of motion blur within the water and the snow. I really didn't want to lose any of that detail in the water or the snowflakes as they moved. To achieve 1/50th of a second, I had to choose to push my ISO up to 640. So yes, the image quality is a touch softer, but for an image with the mist and the moving snow, it really didn't matter that much. So this image here is my finished edited file, and as you can see when we zoom in a little bit, it's a little bit soft. There's a little bit of noise in there because I pumped the ISO up a little bit to 640, but for an image such as this, like I mentioned before, it doesn't matter too much because that softness is quite acceptable because it's foggy. We've got all this water and moving snow in the scene, and actually sometimes a little bit of softness can, you know, really help in an image such as this. So I was quite happy to push my ISO up a little bit just to make sure I could freeze some of that motion in the water there. So this was my final edited image, and to be honest, I didn't do a lot of editing to this shot. It's pretty much straight out of camera. I did take it into Photoshop to do a little bit of sharpening. But yeah, this is the finished TIFF file. Now this is how I would submit this to my website and maybe Instagram. But for getting it ready for print, there's a few things I need to do to make sure what I've got on the screen will come out on the print. So if we go to this next image here, we'll see that that's a bit brighter. It's a lot more contrasty, and there's a little bit more saturation there as well. And I find just by boosting the exposure, the contrast and saturation can really help, make sure what we see on the screen is translated to the paper. And it will vary from image to image, and obviously the paper type as well. So I'm printing this on Photospeed's Platinum Etching 285, which is one of my favourite papers. It's a matte fine art paper. It's beautiful for woodland photography, and it really has a very good saturation and holds colour really well. And I love a matte paper too, because obviously it doesn't reflect light, so you can really see into the image. So as you can see here, I've boosted my exposure just by a little bit, 0.28 there, and also my contrast to +4. I've increased my shadows to +6, and I've increased my saturation by +7. So they're only very small tweaks, but these little tweaks really help to get that image looking good on the paper. So while I send this to the printer, let's talk a little bit about wild camping in the Peak District. If you're brave and up for the challenge of wild camping, the Kinder Plateau is the perfect spot. Now, while it's not strictly legal to wild camp in the Peak District, there is some leeway if you follow the Wild Camping Code of Practice. The laws are put into place to stop people from just rocking up and pitching a tent where they feel fit. Now, believe me, I've seen people camping by farms, roadside laybys, in car parks, all over the place. And if you do this, you're more than likely to be moved on. The Wild Camping Code of Practice is fairly straightforward. Set up late, pack up early, and leave no trace. Always head for a discreet location and avoid lighting fires. A gas stove is a preferred method for cooking, but even then precautions should be met, as many of the hills in the Peak District are peat based, which is highly flammable. If you need to use the toilet, be sure to move at least 100 metres away from any water source and bury your evidence. Also, be sure to take away things like tissue paper. By adhering to these rules, you'll not only protect the environment, but you'll be able to enjoy the wonders of waking up on a mountain and enjoying the sunrise. A truly magical experience. So the print is finished and looks great on this platinum etching. Really moody shot, really shows all the detail of the water droplets there on the tree, and really brings out all that moving snow and the drama in the water, little droplets, which is fantastic. And I really enjoy seeing my work printed. I think being able to get your images off the computer and onto paper really does finish off the process, finish off that journey of capturing an image. And I urge anybody to go out there and print some of their work and get it on the wall, because I've got prints all over my house from my landscape photography journeys, and it really inspires you to get out and capture more images. Currently I've got 3 autumn woodland photos at the end of my bed, and when I wake up in the morning it's literally the first thing I see, and they just make me want to go out and pick up the camera and go and shoot. So I highly recommend that you print your work and get it put up on your wall. So I absolutely love the Kinderscale area, and I've took quite a few photographs there over the course of the last few years from all over different areas of the actual peak there, and it offers so much, it really does. I'll put these together in a little collection, so if you fancy taking a minute or so just to chill and take a look at these images, feel free. Some of them are a dedicated landscape photography photo, where I've set the tripod up and really thought out my composition. Some of them are a little bit more off the cuff, so a little bit more of a documentary type shot. So yeah, a bit of a mixture in there. So yeah, feel free to just chill for a minute, take a look at these, and then we'll come back. While the walks I mentioned earlier are fantastic, there's so much more to explore in the Kinderscow area. The Snake Pass side offers some wonderful walks where you'll find some beautiful hidden gorges, waterfalls and mountain streams. Fairbrook naze is one of those places and comes highly recommended. Check out the walk in the description for more details on that one. Another favourite of mine from the Snake Pass is Blackdown Brook. There's a number of waterfalls hidden in the mountainside, and the route to the summit is also a firm favourite and is especially good if you like a bit of scrambling. So guys, what an amazing place Kinderscow is. Such a vast area, and it's got so many beautiful intimate landscape photography opportunities. Urge anybody to go and take a look at it if they've not been there before. It's fantastic, highly recommended place. So if you like this style of video, please you could do me a massive favour actually. Please share it with others that might like it too, because these type of videos don't do particularly well in the YouTube algorithm and all that nonsense. They don't tend to get picked up as well as say a gear video or gear review or something like that. So by people sharing it really does help out for videos like this. So yeah, please feel free to share it on your social media where you can. That'd be a massive help. So that wraps up today's vlog, today's episode, guys. And thanks so much, for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Big thanks to everybody that supports the channel, via that be through my photography club or through just sharing, liking and subscribing to the channel. I really do appreciate your time. Okay guys, until next week, I'll see you soon. Take care.